And welcome to yet another episode of Aurogiri. Last episode I tried to cover Yoshitsune. However, something came up, so I only covered enhancing and made that video just an explanation to enhancing because I felt that I covered that within the time I had. So now we're going to focus on everything else Yoshitsune. So let's click on her. Hi Yoshitsune, I do need something. We're going to go to give present. Like we did with the Amaterasu, we're going to look at her attributes. So currently in the Edo update, I believe Yoshitsune's max level is 26. So if I would level up my pink friendship gauge to max, I would not be able to go to the next level. This would blacken out. It would be just like my Momotaro, let's say. So Yoshitsune caps out at 26 as per the Edo update. That means her battle is 26, but you can always omit battle. That's never really important. What we want to look at are repair, swordsmith, and grinding. As I stated in the Amaterasu video, these bracketed plus ones come from Amaterasu's Saki Mitama bonus ability thing. And Yoshitsune gets that to grinding and repair should Amaterasu's level be high enough. So with that said, her total grinding level is 9, that's for weapon enhancement. Her swordsmith is at 7, which increases the grade of weapons you create. So a base weapon, like for me to make my Geno Buster, I waited till Yoshitsune was at 26. If ever someone asks what's a good level to start smithing weapons, I always tell them get Yoshitsune max first. You don't want to make a cross or a Geno Buster or a star or something you want to use and have it come out at a bad grade. One of my friends said he was making the Geno Buster as soon as the update rolled out, and he did, and he got a grade 43 Geno Buster. I waited till Yoshitsune was 26 and got a grade 83 Geno Buster. That's much more manageable in my opinion, because I had to spend a lot less money on my smelts. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about grade, money, and smelts all in the same sentence, that's what we're going into today. We're going to go over all the artisan options. We're going to go over everything Yoshitsune. And then we'll also explain the grade of weapons when we get to that point. And then repair, as we explained in the durability video, repair just increases the chance of Yoshitsune giving greater repairs, allegedly reducing the chance of bad repairs when you're durability repairing a weapon. So, more often than not, it happens. We use up our weapons. We're going to get bad repairs anyway. It is what it is. So, and I believe that leveling up one of these things, or just Yoshitsune's inherent in just her level, will make smelting a lot better. Your starting odds are going to be greater. I think at my level, her starting odds for smelting is 90 on the first smelt, but if you use an enhancement item, it'll go to 95. Then the second one's like 80, and then 70, then 50, like whatever. It gets worse and worse as you go, but we'll get to that soon. So let's get out of this menu. Yes. So let's go to the actual smelting menu. So when you're smelting, you're going to need a weapon that is fully enhanced. Therefore, I would need I have a Schwartz Cruise here. I don't think I have any other Schwartz Cruise that I could smelt into it. Actually, I do. What's on this? Holy Breath 7. I guess, whatever. I'm not going to use this Holy Breath staff anyway. So this weapon is fully enhanced. It's at plus, well, it's fully enhanced to 40. So we're going to put it in, and then we're going to go to our materials. In our materials, we could use either an Artisan sword, or another weapon of the same name, in this case, Schwartz Cruise. So I have the Schwartz Cruise that's unfavorited, whatever. It's just this one I found. I was probably thinking of skill changing it, but I don't care about it anymore. So we're going to put it here. We're going to see that the base success rate is 50. That means it's a 50% chance of a yes or no smelt. So it's yes or no. In this game, it's usually no. Yoshitsune can fail a 95. She can fail anything. Doesn't matter what you do. So we got our smelted weapon, the weapon we want to smelt up, and our Schwartz Cruise. Now we're going to go to our support items. So my support item inventory, I have Smelting Amulet, Great Fortune, Lucky, Superb, Smelting Reset A, Smelting Reset B. These are all the smelting items, support items there are in the game that I know of. And I'm going to go over all of them. So if I'm going to uncheck Lucky. The Great Fortune and Lucky come from Lucky boxes, but the Superbs only come from either events or from gacha tickets, etc., etc. So the Lucky is 10%, 20%, 30% in that order. So if I put in the Lucky, it goes to 60%. But by clicking that, I can't, let's say I can't put a Lucky and a Great to get 30%. The game only lets you put one of each type. So I could put that and a button if I so choose. So we're going to take that off. You have to click the X to remove them. Then I can put the Great Fortune to bring it to 80% chance. And then it'll be 70% for the Great. And then we have the reset buttons. Now the reset button's description is here. Prevents the loss of the weapon due to failure during smelting. Now look at our loss chance down here. We have a 0% loss chance right now. Loss chances only start to appear when you smelt beyond 50. So let's say I got this Schwartz Cruise, the smelt passes, and it goes to 50, and then I enhance it to, it has the capacity to go to 50, and then I enhance it up to 50, and I want to smelt it to 60, or to get it past this next limit break or whatever. I'm going to need another Schwartz Cruise, but if I went from 50 to 60, it's going to show me a loss chance. So let's emulate that now. So I'm going to, get out of here, reset the table. We're going to go to smelting again. I'm going to re-favorite this weapon just because, you don't want to accidentally enhance that weapon or use the weapon as a smelting material. We went over this before. Oh, if there's something you like in this game, favorite it or else you're going to lose it. Okay? Like, just don't mess with things. Okay? So let's say, just to show you what a loss chance would look like, I usually don't have many things. Maximilian. So I'll take out my Maximilian star. It is at plus 50, and there it is right there. We have our loss chance of 10% and a success rate of 40. So when we went from 40 to 50, the success rate was 50% at base. When you're going from 50 to 60, it drops down another 10%. So once again, I'd have to use Artisan swords for this. Artisan swords are the most important item you can get from the point exchange. I went over this in the Nyan Koropan video. Artisan sword, like when you're doing your point exchange, like you should only take Artisan swords. Everything else does not compare to Artisans because you cannot buy Artisan swords. You cannot go to Walmart, get a $20 PSN card and say, I want 3 Artisan swords. It doesn't work that way. The only way to legitimately buy Artisan swords is to go to your store or whatever, get your PSN card, your credit card, whatever, put money in the game and roll the gacha system. Now, let's say you roll the gacha system, you get, on average, let's say, let's be nice. Let's say you get a costume, an Ogi, a skill card set, some cats, and some smelting amulets. All those items can be traded in for points. An Ogi, except for the costume. So an Ogi is worth 30 points, but you shouldn't trade an Ogi in. Skill cards are each worth 5. Smelting amulets and ornamentation amulets are all worth like 3 or 4 each. And then beckoning cats, well, all 10 of them are worth 10. So let's say we traded all those in. So let's say we traded in the Ogi for 30 points. We traded in 10 cats, that's 40 points. And then we trade in our skill cards. Well, then we've made about 55 points. And that will net you 3 Artisan swords. Like, that's how hard Artisans are to get, but Artisans are so important, especially for crafted weapons. In my opinion, do not use an Artisan sword unless it is for, like, a weapon, like a Maximilian, a Star Satan weapon, your 105s, like a Brigandia, Gallardia, etc., etc., Garbog, cross weapons. Like you're no one's gonna make a second cross just to fail a smelt. You know what I mean? So artisan treasure swords, they're so important. I only have 2 left, and your heart will break if you fail a smelt using an artisan sword. Like it took me 17 artisan swords to get my Genobuster to 100, because it wanted to go from 1 to 70 no problem, but gave me a hell of a lot of problems going from 70 to 100. Took me forever. I traded in so much stuff to get that, but I wouldn't have done it if it would have started acting up bad at like in its early stages, going from like 1 to 30. I would have said, oh no, I'm done with this Genobuster, because I didn't really want to make it at the beginning. I just did it because I had the materials and it was a good idea. But I'm really glad I did, because the slice element on it really helps Spirit Blast, and it's very effective on Satan. I love the weapon now, but I wasted. In retrospect, you know, I wouldn't, if it would have started acting up and getting bad smelts early on, I would have dropped the project and saved those for star weapons and cross weapons, etc., etc., because now I'm low on them. But now I'm trying to make the Galgos cross, but I need more bows, and I'm gonna need artisan swords to level up the cross. You know, if you can amass 48 Satan weapons of one type, you can actually, if you don't fail any smelts, which you shouldn't, but sometimes you'll fail that 95 every now and again, you could make a cross without artisans and then just use artisans from there on. That's the plan for people now who just fight Satan anyway, trying to get their cross recipe. Chances are they're going to get more weapons than there are cross recipes. So, you know, so you have to use artisan swords. I'm not going to use them for this video, but anyway, now we're moving on to, and promise me never smelt past 50 without a reset button, because that fail chance, I've seen it happen. People lose their best weapons. People lose so much stuff. Like weapons break when they're not, and there are times where people have lost weapons even when they're using a reset button. That's how scary it is. From what I've heard from people, the only times the smelting reset button has failed or misfired is when they decide to smelt right after a maintenance. So some people tried to smelt their weapons right after the update to Edo, because like, oh, they got their motivation back, they start playing again, like, oh, I'm gonna get my weapon to 100, they put the button, they do that, and just, oh, it didn't work. That's what I've heard. It's never happened to me, but I've heard the rumors and I don't want it to happen to me. For those that have watched my skill video, I mentioned a method called Christening. And Christening is a method in which I will only put Ogi cards and good stuff on level plus 100 weapons. So what that means is, if we look at my Hio Tengu, I only put Ogi Spirit Blast and Upending Spear, which I got to 6 yesterday, and it's really awesome and badass. I might show it later in this video. I only put these Ogis on after the weapon was 100. That way, there is no chance for me to lose these Ogis. The weapon cannot be broken, and I'm free to not have my gacha resources, things you can't actually farm in game, like Ogis. I have no chance of losing them. That's my philosophy for it. My D3 cross, I waited a good like week and a half getting it to 100 before I threw on that Thunder Beast. It was just yesterday I got that Thunder Beast to 6 by spamming it with like cooldown mags and Chidori in the sewer, you know, just zipping back and forth, leveling that move up. And I'm really glad I got Thunder Beast. It's a lot of fun. It's super awesome on the D3 because it has 40 lightning and 40 slice, and that's everything like Thunder Beast is. So it's really awesome. It's really OP. And now that I have it at rank 6, I can use it in conjunction with my Setsuna mag, and that's really awesome. But like, that's the same for Genobuster. Actually, Genobuster, after I got to 70, I kind of threw Spirit Blast on it because I knew I had to level it before I could put the second one on. I had 6 Spirit Blasts at the time, so I didn't, or Ugi card 1, so I didn't really, I wasn't too worried. But I only threw on the second one after it was 100. You know? And Maximilian Star, I'm not taking Maximilian Star past 50 because it's just a staff. It has Invigorate and Rapid Storm. I threw Rapid Storm on it. You know, it is what it is. I don't need to take this thing to 100. That's a waste of Artisan Swords in my opinion, especially for a star. The only thing I would take to 100 would be like a cross Maximilian, because why not? You're going to have like a 30 meditation if you do. A 30 plus. So let's explore our artisan options. So when you're smelting, whenever you're smelting, always pick an artisan option. Always. So here they are. So when you don't have a weapon equipped, it shows you how much money these cost. And it's by a percentage. It's like, let's say your smelt is going to cost you 10,000, and if you want to get success rate +5, it's going to cost 50% more. So it's going to be like, you know, 15,000 instead. And then 60. So let's explain them all. So this is just a 5% boost to your success rate. So if you use this in conjunction with like an item, like if you had a great fortune, if you use it with this, you're going to get 35% boost. So it turns a 40% to like a 35. I think when you're going from 90 to 100, it's like, I don't know what it is at base, but I believe when you use all the best items you're going to get, and this, you're going to get like 55%. Like it's going to be either yes or no. Although all smelts are just yes or no, to be honest. Because it's either it passes or it doesn't. I've failed 95s, I've passed 35s. You know? Next we have skill change. What skill change does is, let's say I had a weapon, like that Swartz Cruise I had. I'm going to pull it out actually. I can't actually smelt it because it's not ready yet. But this thing has Invigorate 5, Cure 2, and Holy Breath 7. So whenever you get a Holy Breath 7 is not that good. However, if you have a weapon with like a 7 skill or a 6 skill on it, but you don't really like it, like what some people do, what some players do, like let's say they get the skill cards for Spear, I don't know. You get the skill card like Intimidate, Thundercrack, and like just a bunch of 7s you don't care about, like not like Water Dragon or anything. But you throw those on, you try to skill change. When you skill change and the smelt succeeds, one of your skills will change to another random skill of the same level, if not higher. Like if it's like if it's a level 4 skill, there's a 25% chance that when using skill change, it will jump up to 5. But it will none of those will ever jump past 6, or jump past 5. And to showcase that, what I mean by that is if you go to skill evolution, which is what most people do, it says here, it does not affect Oogie skills nor those of 6 and above. What that means is it will not take a 5 to 6. This will never take a 5 to 6. And it will never take a 6 to 7. But it will always do the lowest rank skill on the weapon. So if you had like Water Dragon 3, Ice Blossom 4, Thundercrack 4, it's going to do Water Dragon 3 first. And it's going to take Water Dragon 3 to 4. And now we have 3-4 skills on the weapon. The next time we do it, it's going to take the lowest skill on the weapon, but now they're all 4. However, from what someone's told me, I don't know if this is valid or not, true, but apparently they'll take the topmost skill and evolve that one first. So that would mean that Water Dragon 4 is going to go to 5 next time. And then the next smelt, it's going to be Thundercrack that goes to 5, and then the last one will be Ice Blossom, whatever. It's always going to be it'll always go top to bottom, assuming they're all the same level. Like that's how it works. So skill evolution is probably the most staple one. You know, if you get like a skill on a weapon, like it comes with, you know, just like I said, you want to try and get all your skills to at least 5, and at that point, that's when you throw on your skill cards for 7s and 6s and etc, etc. So then we have grade up 3. So for 60%, you know, you smelt the weapon. Let's say your weapon's a grade 80 weapon. You do this, it's going to go to grade 83. You know, no one ever does grade up 3 unless you're going from like 97 to 100 or 98 to 100 or 99 to 100, etc. The most staple combination players will do is skill evolution and grade up 6. No one ever does durability protect. Those are a waste of money and a smelt. Because all this does is, like, let's say you fail the smelt and your weapon loses like 40 durability. Like, who cares? That's not important. Don't ever do durability protect at all. Let's just fail. It's dumb. You know. So, like, just to show an example, this is what everyone's this would be the optimum. Like, this is the ultimate smelt. You know, you're going from 90 to 100. You got your button. You got your 30%. You got your skill evolution, assuming all of your skills are not already at 5. And then you have grade up 6, so your weapon grade increases. So I said earlier I was going to explain grade when we got there, and now we're here. So how grade works, I looked this up the other day on the Wikipedia, on the Onigiri Wikia. Let's say you have a weapon that's 50 grade, so base grade. Like let's say you had 43 grade. For every point of grade that is below 50, you're going to lose 0.02% of your weapon's attack, or maximum attack. However, the inverse is also true for everything that is, let's say you had a Rose Maiden at 50 and a Rose Maiden at 49 and a Rose Maiden at 51. On average, the Rose Maiden at 50 will have its base attack, but there was always ranges, and you know, everything's never the same. But it'll be, the one that's 49 will be 0.02% weaker, and the one that's 51 will be 0.02 stronger. What that means is when you get, like, the difference between a level 50 weapon and a 100 grade weapon, or grade, is about 20% attack. I think that's what it adds up to, about a 20% attack difference. And that goes both ways, but you should never touch a weapon if its grade is like below 70. At end game, don't touch a weapon that's below like 80, 70. If something's like 30, unless you crafted it and it just came out like that, but you know, that's a lot of effort to get that grade up. And it's actually just a min-max thing. Like the difference between 50 and 100 is a lot, but the difference between, like, let's say 90 and 100 is not that big of a difference. It's going to be like maybe a couple percents, not even like 1%. I don't know. It's not going to be something too major. So it might not, it's not 20%. That sounds too strong. So if it's 0.02, so that times 10 is going to be like 0.2%. Or it's going to be, yeah, whatever. It's not going to be much, but it's just a min-max thing. It's just, you know, my math has been known to be inaccurate and clumsy and whatever. It's the principle of what I'm saying that matters. The numbers, like, I don't really care about exact numbers a lot of the time. So moving on. So skill evolution is very important. Like, always do an artisan option when you're smelting something. Don't not. Like, the only time you're not going to is when all your skills are 5+, your grade is 100, and the only thing that's going to be on your artisan option is going to be like success +5. You're enjoying the stream? Thanks, Wolfpack Gaming. What's going on? We're just going over Yoshitsune. Yesterday I explained how enhancing works, and today I'm going over smelting, for those that don't know, because this is never truly explained. This is going up on YouTube later as a video, so people can go and check it out at a later date. That's what we're doing here with the series. Guy. Mr. Wolf. So then the last thing we have to cover are smelting reset button Bs. I can't put it on because I have a button A. But how button Bs work is that these can only be purchased from the Nyankoro pawn. Like, you have to buy them, and they cost about twice as much as buttons should you buy a button. And what these ones do is, let's say you pass the smelt, like if you use a button A and you're going from like 50 to 60 and you're worried because it can break, you always want to wear you want to treat reset buttons like they're condoms. You don't want to you know, experiment and try to smelt without protecting yourself, because you could get effed if things go south. You know, you always want to have that button. Now let's say you pass that smelt from 70 to 80. The reset button A is still consumed because it did its job. You can't reuse a smelting button. Let's say you can't reuse a condom in that sense, in that equivalent exchange, whatever. However, reset button Bs are reusable. That's what they're for. So let's say you do pass that smelt going from 50 to 60 or 70 to 80, the smelting button will not be consumed. So far with me using Bs, like when you buy Bs, you should always buy them in set to 3. My first one, I used one to go from like, I don't know what I went from, like 50 to, or I went from 70 to 80, like I said. It passed. I tried to go to 80 to 90. It failed, but it protected my weapon, but I lost it. So on average, you're going to get about 2 button uses per button for button B. like 2 for 1. So that's you're making money from that. You know, you're getting your money's worth. And then my last smelt where I went from 90 to 100, or I don't know what it was, but one of these buttons I used it before and it came back to me because I didn't fail it. So in my advice, in my opinion, the only times you should be using reset button Bs are for the smelts you know you're gonna pass, but just in case, you put that button on anyway. So when you're going from like 50 to 60, that's when I would recommend using it. Like if you have a great amulet and your odds are like 75%, those kind of ranges, I would use a button B. But they only need to be used before or after 50. Because I believe that if you use a button before 50, like you're not supposed to, but if, let's say I used a reset button going from 40 to 50 and it failed, well, that button's still going to get consumed regardless. It's gonna like, don't use it. Like I used to think you had to use it for every smelt, and I wasted like a ton of buttons back in the day. So only use buttons when you need to. But Bs should be used from 50 to 60, 70 to, you know, 60 to 70, that range. But don't ever try to use them 80 to 90, 90 to 100, because chances are you're just gonna lose them. Going from 90 to 100 is usually just a trial and error thing. It takes a long time. You have to go farm your boxes for your buttons, etc. That's what, like when you're going 70 plus, I recommend using A's, because chances are it's not going to work. But when it does, it works. Hooray, you didn't lose the weapon. Congratulations. You know, I'm very typical, I'm very particular, and I'm very strict about smelting. I've seen people lose weapons. I've heard people crying about it to me, like, I lost my weapon. What do I do? And I'm just like, I don't know. You just didn't play safe. That's what it is. Like, I couldn't imagine, I'd be devastated if I lost a weapon that had an Ogi on it or something I invested time into. You know, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to anyone else. So that's why I was taking like half an hour just to go over Yoshitsune, because a lot of people don't know. They get into smelting, they think it's like the bee's knees, and the next thing you know, the bee's knees break and they lost their weapon. All their Ogis are gone and their skill cards, and they're devastated and they quit. People quit. People reset the spear when they break their twin swords. They break their something. You know, I've seen it time and time again. It's not a fun time. I believe. So just to review, we have success up. That's just for when you don't need to do anything else. Skill change is for when you want to experiment. Like I've seen, you can get, like let's say I had Intimidate 7 on that spear I was talking about earlier. You could try to skill change and get that Intimidate 7 to turn into Water Dragon 7 or Revolving Blast 7. Or one time I told this guy to get a Geno Buster and he's like, what do I do with it? I'm like, oh, here, put Intimidate on it and Thundercrack. And he did it, and the Geno Buster came with like Geno Buster always comes with Collapsing Blade 5 or 6 on it. So it had Collapsing Blade 6, Intimidate 7, Thundercrack 7. He did the skill change and it turned his Intimidate 7 into Stone Spire Spike 7, and he was like the first person on PS4 to have that move. He was like, oh my god, this is so cool. It looks like 2 Earthglaives. It's really awesome. But skill changing is very useful because we don't have cards for that skill thing. We don't have cards for Water Dragon 7 yet. Those OP moves, Revolving Blast 7, they're all like Ogi class moves. My friend Goddess Freya does that with his bows. He'll put on like Meteor Rain, a bunch of bad moves, and he'll skill change and he'll get moves like Exorcist Arrow 7, Icicle Arrow 7, all the good stuff. And this is one of the ways you can get those really good skills, make the really badass weapons. It's through skill change. It's a lot of luck, but when it works, it works. And in my advice, if you get one of those OE class skills, like let's say you're trying to make a really awesome bow and then it gets Exorcist 7 on it, and you're just like, oh my god, I have Exorcist 7 and Peacock 7, and then I have some other move that I don't really care about, don't mess with the weapon. Once you get that skill, you're good. You only need 2 good skills in a weapon. You know? That's why we have 4 weapons, so we have a big repertoire of skills to choose from. You don't need 3 perfect ones per weapon. It's nice, but you don't need it. My Geno Buster is Water Dragon 5, 6, and Poison Fang. I don't need the Poison Fang. It's there. I only use Water Dragon and my 2 Ogis. You don't need 5 good skills in one weapon. You're just going to break the weapon. You know? It's nice, but it's not that important. So skill changing, it's very powerful. You know how to use it. This is what your bad skill cards are for, you know? You get that weapon with White Breath or something, you know, charge spike or lunge step, you know, just weird moves that you don't really need that could be better. It's fun to experiment with. However, you cannot do skill change and skill evolution in the same smelt. One overrides the other. So you could do skill evolution and grade up, or skill change and grade up, or skill change and success. But like I said, never do durability protect. It's a waste of money. That money's better spent just durability farming your weapon, to be honest. 120% smelt cost? That's ridiculous. Like, if you did both these, it's like 400%, when you could just pay 50% to get more percent. Like, come on. And then skill evolution will take moves past, you know, it goes up to 5. It is what it is. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it will not take things from 5 to 6 or anything higher than 5. And lastly, let's say you have those skill card 1s. I'm going to bring up that menu here. They come for, if I have any left, I might not. I might have traded them all in. So let's go to the my inventory. So we're gonna go to skill cards. So skill card set 1. I have 1 left because I trade these in for points. They're not that necessary. Skill card set 1 is a very interesting thing. Here you have for sword coin explosion, shining potential, weapon spirit, card captor, steel attack, shitem, blasting noise, and sushi time. Super sushi time, sorry. These skills here, like the 2s, so excluding weapon spirit and sushi time, all of these skills can be evolved to level 3 versions of them. However, it is impossible for Momotaro to do it. The only way to get like steel attack 3 or shitem 3 is through Yoshitsune's skill evolution. And they will only go to 3. They don't go to 4, they don't go to 5, they just go to 3. And at that point, let's say you had ice, let's say we're doing twin swords, we want steel attack, and we have twin blade slash, steel attack, and like lightning slash or something. And they're all like 2s and 3s. Well, once steel attack hits 3, and let's say the other moves are at like 4 and 4, steel attack will not go to 4, it'll just do the 4s. Because steel attack caps out at 3, that's its maximum level. It'll just treat that as if it's like a full skill and do the others. That's how that works. And it's very important, it's very useful to do this method for steel attack if you're doing a steel attack weapon or ciphers or something. Because steel attack 2 increases your drop chance by 50%. Steel attack 3, however, will increase your drop chance should you kill that enemy by 80%. It's that huge. It's such an important tip, and not many people know how to get their steel attack up. So if you just get some ciphers or it's like, I don't know, D3s or Dark Heaven Embus, that's probably the best thing to do now. Get some Dark Heaven Embus because they're high attack, and the attack speed's pretty good too because steel attack is a slow move. You just get steel attack on there, whatever, back strike to do more damage, whatever you do. You're just making a steel attack weapon anyway. You get that steel attack up to 3 and you can make Maga farming and item drop farming a lot easier because steel attack does have a low base power. So what I said earlier, you know, is it skill card? Skill card 4 for spears is Intimidate. It's not an important skill to have. Intimidate 7's pretty garbage. You're better off just finding a weapon that has Intimidate 5, which is good enough. All it does is slow enemies down. So you throw like Intimidate 7 on, you throw Thunder Crack on, and then you like throw on. Don't mess with Thunder Water Dragon or whatever. But then you're gonna put on like, I don't know. It is what it is. And then you're going to want to try to skill change those things so you can try to get like Water Dragon 7, etc, etc. So that's what that is. Who is this person who's like thunder beasting behind me? Anyway, is there anything else that we should know about Yoshitsune before I conclude? We did weapon enhancing yesterday. Weapon smithing. I think I'm going to make weapon smithing its a whole other video because I think just one video about smelting should suffice and it'll probably be better that way. So with that said, we're going to, you know, if anyone has any questions about smelting or anything at all, hit me up on YouTube. Ask away. I'll answer your questions the best I can. I hope this was a good guide for it. And as always, like, have a great day. Hit me up in game. Don't be shy. You know. And I hope you learned something. You know, if you do, leave a like. I don't usually say that, but it helps. it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. If people like what I'm doing, like what Wolfpack here said in stream, he's like, hey, what's up? I'm enjoying the stream. To me, that's the same thing as a YouTube like, you know. If you don't like it, put a dislike. I don't care. Give me your honest opinion. Don't lie to me. Don't, you know, be honest. Be cool. Be real. But with that said, look forward to weaponsmithing whenever that comes out. It might be later today. It might not. It all depends on what's going on. But with that said, I hope you guys learned something. And, you know, keep playing Onigiri. And I hope I bless all your smelts. You have Aurelia's Holy Water Dragon Fluids blessing your smelts. And as I said earlier, I'll show you guys what Oogie 6 looks like. Or not Oogie 6, but Oogie 4 at level 6. Because it's huge. I'm going to use it on my podium. My table. It's huge. Awesome video, you as well. Thank you, bro. So, here it is. Let's look how big this thing is now. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's so huge. It's so huge. Like, just to show it outside the table, just like, you know. We'll go in the water here just to see the scope of it compared to the pool. You know, my bathtub, my bird bath. Boom. Look at that. It's like 8 earthglaives. It's so cool. So you have my holy water dragon fluids blessing your smelt. You know, it's holy water from this water dragon angel. Here you go. That will bless all your smelts. And if it doesn't work, well, I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. And peace out.